Why is learning a language so much easier for children than it is for adults? When you were a child, no one taught you your first language. You just absorbed it from the people around you. You didn't have to go to class. You didn't have to make flashcards. You didn't have to use an app. You just learned it. But when we're an adult and we have these tools available to us, we often still fail to learn the language, or if we don't fail to learn it, we end up with an accent. There are a lot of potential explanations, but the one I want to talk about today is the critical period hypothesis. And I want to preface this by saying I personally do not believe in this hypothesis. But the idea is that there is a specific phase in brain development where we are predisposed to learning new skills, specifically in this case, language. And that as you age out of that period, you can still learn a second language, but it's harder and you'll never achieve native level fluency. The crux of this hypothesis is neuroplasticity, the ability for our brains to reorganize and forge new connections. It's very high when we're young, but it does decrease as we age. However, notice that I said decreases, it never actually goes away. You probably know of at least a few people that were able to learn a second language as an adult with a high degree of fluency and even a very good accent. Ben Affleck speaking Spanish. So we can already see that passing that critical period is not a death knell for your language learning dreams. But beyond that, the exact age range that this period is supposed to cover is very unclear. I know people that immigrated to Canada when they were a teenager, having never previously spoken English, and yet they were able to become fluent and have a Canadian accent. Meanwhile, I also know people that immigrated when they were 8, 9, 10 years old, who while they are fluent, they still have very thick, noticeable accents. But if not a critical period, then why do children have an easier time learning language? And the argument that I've always found the most convincing is a social one. Learning a language involves you being okay with looking foolish. You need to mispronounce things. You need to use the wrong word. You need to try to express an idea and not know how to do it. And you have to be comfortable with it. You have to power through. You have to stick with it. And children, they don't know any different. They are used to people thinking that they're dumb. They don't have another way to express themselves. But as an adult with an ego and a self-image and other ways to express yourself that you can fall back on, it's very tempting to just quit. But you have to stick with it.